The harsh truth about single women over 40.
I think that it's better for me to not have contact with you because you're not ready. And you're a pretty old guy to not be ready, and I'm too old to ignore that.
A scene from As Good As It Gets, 1998, Jack Nicholson, and obviously that was Helen Hunt, saying,
Too old to ignore that.
she's too old for this crap. You know, the clock's ticking, obviously, or it's tucked. Whatever. But he's also too old to be playing games. Now, the point is, it's a very common point a lot of women make. They find that as a 40-plus-year-old woman, when they date men who are also, 40-plus, whereas women, they seem more eager to settle down, a lot of men just seem to be like,
Nope.
yeah, I'm unsure about you. But why do men think like that?
To not be ready, and I'm too old to ignore that.
But before we begin, hope you're focused and on your square. Indeed. Why are men 40-plus so bold? How can they afford to be so bold? Is it because we don't have a biological clock? Not in the same sense as women. Is there more desperation for women at 40 than for men at 40? And if so, why? What happened?
We have this issue when we get to be in our 40s and you get back in the relationship scene and you're trying to find somebody to spend your life with. You know you want to settle down, you want to be in a committed marriage. And you start dating, and then when you haven't dated in 10 years, dating is way different at 44 than it is at 34.
So you haven't dated in 10 years, meaning you were in a relationship?
I was in a long-term relationship for 7 years. And coming out of a relationship, you see things different at this point.
Indeed.
So I think people told me I needed to take time. I needed to take time. I needed to heal.
But at 40 years old, I mean, how much time do you have left to take time? I mean, you'll take too much time, you'll be 50. I'm just saying. The proverbial war. Smack. And it's all over. No, let's be honest, it's not all over. A lot of women past 30 still look good. They can still get a man. They can still pull men in. That is not the problem. If we're being honest, her getting attention, getting more bodies from men, that is not the problem, is it? You see, the main point here is commitment. At that age, where women constantly say, why don't men want to commit? Why aren't men pursuing me?
Love me. Pick me.
Why are men avoiding me? What happened? What did happen though? From a lot of women's perspective, they find it odd that men at their same age bracket are more cautious about settling down in commitment compared to them. Like a lot of women, a decent amount of women who are dating in their 40s, 40 plus, they are looking for commitment. But those same men, they're like, yeah, come on. Or those men would date younger. They would date younger. The harsh truth a lot of women 40 plus don't want to admit because they don't want to be accountable for it, even though a lot of men can see is, yo, woman, there's a very strong vibe of desperation. Like you seem a bit desperate, like easy.
Too old to ignore that.
You're making yourself a bit too easy, woman. Desperation is not appealing, even when it's coming from women. I'm just saying.
And once you go through the healing process, you decide, okay, well, now I think that I'm ready. So I think that our culture doesn't truly know how to date. The dating that we saw growing up was you date one person and then y'all go together and then we're in a relationship for 7 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's not dating. You don't really get to know a person. If that's the only person that you're seeing, you have nobody to compare it to.
Right.
So I wanted to truly experience dating.
Okay.
And it's been a trip.
What are some of the trips you've come across?
For a woman in her 40s, what are
Yes.
some of the challenges, about
I
dating?
think, you have a certain expectation. You have you feel like you want to go to nice places. You want, you like nice, you're accustomed to nice things. So I provide nice things for myself. So I expect whoever I'm dating to provide those same things. So
But you're 40 now. You're 40. And that's not an excuse for anything. I'm not saying because she's 40, she doesn't deserve nice things. That is not what I'm saying. However, the reality how some people would see it, again, I'm not saying it, the reality how some people would see it is you're a woman, 40.
Damn.
And your expectations are so high. It's like, oh, come on, get a grip. Now, it's wrong to say, but it is sort of wrong to say, but do a lot of men just expect women at a certain age to have lowered their expectations and be like, woman, it's not going to happen. It didn't happen. That's why you're here and I'm talking to you right now.
Who hate you?
Yeah, be humble. Be humble.
Too old.
As a 40-plus-year-old single woman.
Disgusting.
On one hand, yeah, a lot of men are saying that. Not saying it's good, but however, if men believe in their own worth, they would think like this, like, woman, I can do better. But can you?
I I mean, I get it to a certain degree, but I mean,
So, Doctor, what do you think is the issue with that? Why is that she's saying basically that men are not giving the good conversation, the expectations that there are, because everybody has expectations.
The expectations are just different.
Right.
Like what my expectations are, if we're dating, may not be what his expectations are in dating.
Exactly. The one odd thing about when you hear women talk about dating and standards is they act as if men can't have standards, like we're not allowed to have standards, or we're not allowed to think or assess a situation. And a woman, I'm gonna judge you, like, what was your past like? Dusty. For us to even think about having a future. But before we let this woman finish and the doctor respond, have a look at this.
As society continues to shift and evolve, so do the expectations and standards for relationships and dating.
Expectations and standards again. Common theme, isn't it? Myself, the woman in the previous video, and AI are saying the exact same thing. But whose expectations are off? Men's or women's? Both?
For many single women over the age of 40, finding a man to settle down with can prove to be a challenging and often frustrating task. There are a myriad of reasons why these women may face difficulties in the dating world, but one of the most prevalent factors is the stigma and stereotypes surrounding women over 40. One of the main reasons why single women after 40 struggle to find a man is because of the societal perception that older women are less desirable or attractive compared to their younger counterparts.
Damn. Crazy young hot chicks.
Spicy.
Okay, and video of a woman eating a £5 note out of some jelly. Okay, I don't even know. I guess it represents young women. Yeah, it's freaky. Point is, men that have the option to date younger women, a lot of them would, wouldn't they? A lot of them would. And that's what a lot of women 40 plus dislike and think is ridiculous. And that's why they insult men call these men dating all these young women in their 20s, hot 20-year-olds. Look, on one hand, yes, you can say it's wrong if you want to say it's wrong. On the other hand, can you blame men? You're going to get the same woman, except she looks better, and she nags less, a little bit, maybe less, and the nagging, please. Bruh. But she nags less, a little bit less. None of that is a guarantee. None of that is a guarantee that a younger woman's even going to want you. However, I mean, if you do have a choice as a man, why wouldn't you pick like some hot younger chick who's going to eat a £5 note out of some jelly? It's like, it doesn't even make sense to you, but hey, she's young and hot. Yeah.
This outdated notion is reinforced in popular media and everyday interactions, with older women being often portrayed as less physically appealing or desirable. As a result, men may be hesitant to pursue a relationship with a woman over 40, believing that they are not as physically attractive or appealing as younger women. Additionally, men may have preconceived notions about women over 40 and their suitability as partners. Some men may view older women as being more set in their ways, lacking in flexibility or openness to new experiences.
Lacking in flexibility. Crispy. I'm not sure what AI means, but you don't want to throw her back out getting busy. And she needs a hip replacement because she can't, all right, I don't want to get too deep, but you get the point. And neither do you, because she'll hurt herself. But seriously, let's focus. Yes, a lot of women who are 40 plus, they're going to be more set in their ways, aren't they? They're not going to be open to more new experiences because, for one, they may have been there and done it. It's like by 40, she's pretty much done everything, hasn't she? A lot. Damn. Some women by 25 have done everything. It's like, yeah, but you get the point. So on one hand, is AI saying that, these 40 plus women, men may think that they're less fun? You're a bit boring. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But I mean, it's a sort of a notion, isn't it? That, she's kind of, you spent a lot of your 20s and early 30s dating a lot of reckless dudes that made you a bitter woman. And now you want a loving man to come and love you. And it's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Get a cat. Get a cat. Wasted years. Wasted time. It's one point a lot of men ring up, like, what happened to her younger years? What was she doing in her younger years? Did she have long-term relationships? Or was she just getting ran through? Just like, ran through endlessly. And it's like now she wants a prince, a captain to save her. That's also not appealing, so... I mean, there are many reasons, aren't there? Is she flexible enough?
They may also believe that women over 40 are more likely to come with baggage from previous relationships or marriages, making them less desirable as potential partners. These stereotypes can be frustrating for single women after 40 who are looking for love and companionship, as they struggle to overcome these misconceptions and prove their worth as partners. Furthermore, men may be intimidated by the independence and success that many single women over 40 have achieved in their lives.
Ooh.
Women who have reached this age may have established careers, financial stability, and a strong sense of self-confidence, which can be intimidating for some men. They may feel threatened by a woman who is independent and self-sufficient, believing that they have little to offer in terms of support or security.
Okay, good point. And yes, I'm going to agree with the point. All men know. Clearly, all men know. But yes, let's admit, a lot of men are intimidated by a strong, powerful, independent woman because he would question his masculinity like, what can I do for you, woman?
Dusty.
What can I do for you? But that is only men that are insecure about their masculinity. A lot of men actually like independent women. It's like the notion is a lot of men don't, and a lot of men are insecure because of independent women. And that's not the truth. It's always going to come back down to how does she handle herself being an independent woman compared to a woman who may lack as much independence, but she's a more comfortable woman to be around. You know, she's more appealing to be around, warm, you know. But indeed, I will agree. A lot of men are intimidated by a woman's earnings and potential.
This can create a barrier for women over 40 in finding a man who is willing to accept and appreciate their independence and success. In conclusion, the struggle for single women over 40 to find a man is often rooted in outdated stereotypes and misconceptions about older women. These women face challenges in overcoming societal expectations and proving their worth as desirable partners.
Ooh.
However, it is important for men to recognize the value and potential of women over 40, and to look beyond age and appearance when seeking
And to look beyond age and appearance when seeking.
Wow, AI is trying to throw men under the bus. Wow, AI. I thought you were logical. Never! Telling men, hey, men, stop, men. You know, be more respectable to women, love women. You know, he's telling men to just step back and, you know, it can't all be just about some hot 20-plus-year-old chick. If you're a man with choice and options, pick, you know, a more mature woman that may have baggage. She could be a bit bitter, a bit angry, probably a bit alcohol-fueled, a bit catty as well. Indeed. But, you know, compared to a young hot chick who may eat 5 pounds out of some jelly. Yeah.
Important for men to recognize the value and potential of women over 40, and to look beyond age and appearance when seeking a meaningful and fulfilling relationship. Love and companionship are not exclusive to a certain age group, and single women over 40 deserve the same opportunities for happiness and connection as anyone else.
Wow. And look at the last image it shows. Just 3 women just palling together. See the value, men. See the value. Don't be so harsh. See the value. The best part about being over 40 is we did most of our stupid stuff before the internet.
Propaganda tool.
Indeed. A lot of women were getting busy and freaky before the internet and hid all the evidence. Yeah, except for the, you know, look in her eyes. That dead 1,000-knob look in her eyes. It's like, okay, I could see it. Still got some in her eye. Never argue with a woman over 40. Yeah, it's a waste of your time. She's already wasted hers, but now seriously. They are full of rage and sick of everyone's crap. If she's had a fun life, a very busy life, got a lot of bodies, she's also full of everyone's semen.
What?
We should open a store called Forever 39. We can sell wine and yoga pants. You in? They need cats as well. I think they forgot to add cats to it as well. 40-year-old women be like, well, I don't get this one. What, they just look like minions? That's cold. That's cold. What, they develop a yellow tinge and just waffle absolute nonsense? Okay. Once you hit 40, you got to sit on the edge of the bed and warm up like an old Buick before you get up. Wow. That's that's accurate. That is quite accurate. That is quite accurate, isn't it? And she still looks like an old Buick, doesn't she? But okay, seriously.
I think it's just the conversation just needs to be had.
You might be. Are you a Cowboys fan? Is that what?
No,
it is?
That'll kill you right there.
Well, let's say I was born a Cowboys fan, but in 1999, I was born again.
Oh,
okay.
And I'm a Titans fan.
tighten up.
You might find love, man.
Oh, yeah. Phones are ringing up the hook.
Especially in this season.
I'm sorry.
So, Doctor, what do you think? What do you say about her, about what she's had to say?
Well, the biggest thing is like what you were saying, Cece, is communication.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we come into relationships doing the DTR, defining the relationship. You have to come in, not first date, not second date, but somewhere when you feel like, okay, we may have a little some. You know, you gotta define the relationship. You have to come in and say, hey, this is what I want.
But is that where men are feeling the pressure from? Because a lot of women know time is short. They may apply too much pressure to men in the same age bracket. You know, it's like, well, ease off a little bit. Again, desperation. Obviously, women want to know what a man's intentions are, especially a woman at that age. But in some way, it makes her appear, I don't know, overly desperate and doesn't become appealing anymore. It's like, no, I'm good. I'm just saying.
You got to define the relationship. You have to come in and say, hey, this is what I want. This is what I expect. And then the biggest thing is you have to be committed to what you're saying, because they're going to test you on that, you know.
And it's not so much though, but I figured out that if you try to define the relationship too early.
Exactly. That's why I said not first date, because a lot of people come in there premature and mess themselves up.
On the first date, you like, well, you know,
exactly.
This is what I'm looking for. This one, I don't want to do that.
No.
I don't want
Exactly.
Don't
But how many women do that?
Thousands.
Too soon. And then when men run off, they blame the men. It's like, no, woman, you were coming on a bit too strong. Yes, some men can run off, but it's like, yo, she's admitting herself that could be heavy for a lot of men. And a lot of men themselves, by 40, they have become too wise themselves, which is a point a lot of women seem to miss, as if men haven't wised up as well.
Got your laundry list and say this is
But a lot of men ask you. They will ask, what are you looking for, or something like that. Then what do you say if you don't want to bring it out then? Do you say, we'll see, or do you go ahead and answer the question?
No, I say, well, you know, we'll see where this is going. You know, you kind of got to like reserve a little bit as well. So
drag it out.
So I'm going to give you a question I want you to ponder on, and because we got to go to break and we will come back. And if you guys want to ask the doctor a question, if you're going through the same thing, hit us up 737-9292, dating in your 40s.
Or if you want to ask Kelly a question,
you want to ask Kelly something,
what's up?
You can ask.
You know?
Here's a question I want you to think about, Kelly, before we come back. But what do you think it is that Kelly's putting into the mix of this whole dating thing not happening for Kelly?
Well, I think prior to taking extra baggage from previous relationships into this one, whatever happened prior to has nothing to do with him. And he didn't cut me, so I shouldn't bleed on him. So it's basically, I had to heal. I had to do the necessary work to make sure that I was okay and make sure that it was time for me to even seek somebody else or even be in a place to be able to date. Because if I'm still worried about what happened 10 years ago or 15 years ago or even 25 years ago, that's not fair to them. And holding them accountable for someone else's actions isn't fair.
Right.
No, it isn't. But sadly, a lot of women hold on to their past and judge men based on the poor choices that they made in their past.
Well, what have you done for me lately?
Never being accountable. Have a nice day.
Too old to ignore them.